This section is about editing. Please don't think you can skip it. I'll say that. Editing is important if you want your book to look polished and professional. Every book that's worth reading is worth having professional sets of eyes on it. Multiple sets or at least one set. Do not skip editing. I don't care how awesome of a writer you are, how great you are at the English language, spelling, grammar, punctuation. We have to have someone else look at our work. We have to. So when you think of editing, there's all kinds of editors. Editorial, there's developmental. These are, and if someone says they're an editorial or developmental editor, they are not proofreading your work. They are not doing copy editing of your work. They are looking at the bigger picture, not the details. And I think that's very important. If you haven't hired an editor before and someone says they're an editor, ask them what kind of editor they are, because it's going to make a difference in what you get. Because you cannot expect a proofreader to look at the big picture necessarily, and you can't expect a developmental editor to make sure that your grammar and punctuation is right. It's just not what they do. In the time frame of your publishing, you will write the book, okay, and then you will do your self-editing. You always got to edit yourself, and that might be pro writing aid. You're just reading through it. You're going to work with someone. When you send out an advanced review copy, it does not have to be the final copy. It does not have to be fully edited, and you can let them know this is, coming out to you before it's been edited, so they're aware that they're going to find some errors and some things that may not flow right and exactly like the final book is going to flow. You just have to let them know it's the advanced unedited copy. In the meantime, you are continuing your work and you're doing your book editing and your review. My suggestion, because it's just something that you can't see it until it's right in front of your face. I promise you, every single book I have edited on my computer. I have printed out on the printer, redlined it, and I will put it in Amazon, and you get the author copy. I will open up that author copy, and I still see stuff I couldn't see on the screen or on the printed paper. It's just something about opening it up in the book that you then see it differently. So I always suggest any author, if you're not going through Amazon, if you're going through Lulu or Drafted Digital or Blurb, get a pre-published copy and edit that paperback copy. If it's only going to be an ebook, you could still do it. You can still get a published copy because you don't actually have to publish the paperback. You can just leave it in draft mode. A lot of times those are great first round, even second round editing. If you're a decent writer to start with, it's going to catch kind of that next level thing.
Right.
So if you're writing a memoir and you already have something like consider someone looking at your book at a holistic level and asking, okay, what else am I missing? Am I hitting the key points? This is a memoir. Are these the elements that are needed in a memoir? And do I have all of those covered? And is it engaging and something that people are going to want to read from beginning to end? Am I consistent throughout? So looking at those kinds of things, a lot of times the pro writing aid type things, they can look at line by line, chunk of content, chunk of writing, but they can't look at the whole picture. And that's where a human can be helpful. So with the editing, my suggestion, between your first editing and uploading on Amazon, you hire an editor at some point in the process after you've done your own personal line of editing. That editor is a human being. They are not going to catch 100%. And that's why it's important to get that physical copy. When it's laid out, you can open it up. You can see what it looks like on the page. You can see if you've got funky lines dropping or single hanging words, and if the paragraph or blank pages because things shifted. You can see all of that once you open the book, and you can see, oh, there's a period missing, which is really hard to see on a computer, but it jumps out on the page. So doing that, using beta readers. Now, beta reader is before your advanced review reader. So you write the book, you do your initial editing. Always do your own initial editing before you send it out to somebody. You do your own initial editing. Now they have what they call alpha readers. Those alpha readers may be people who you trust to give you some initial feedback on the story. Say you can't hire a developmental editor or someone who looking at the big picture. You might have a couple of people you trust. They could be friends who will be honest and not just say, I love it, because they love you. Have people who will be honest and say, hey, this doesn't work. I don't know where you're going, or you started here, but then you open up the storyline and it never closed. So you always have to have, if you start something, you got to finish it. It could be a micro thing, but you got to finish it. And that's where your alpha, your A readers, so they're the first ones. So you fix all that and you come back for your beta readers. Now they're looking at a more polished version, but they're going to give you feedback on things that still may not work on the overall story. Do they enjoy it? Would they finish? Did they finish? And you take all that feedback for your next to final copy-ish, because that's the copy that once you edit it, can go to your ARC readers or can go to your professional editor, depending on the process you want to take. Now, if it goes straight to your editor, cool, you make their edits. You may decide to send it out to advanced readers after your editor. You may decide you're just going to take those edits and you're going to put it out in the world after you make the corrections. That's up to you. You can also use family and friends, but as I said, please make sure that they're honest. Do not, unless your mother is really honest, or your auntie or your cousins, they're going to tell you that they love it. If they don't read your genre, they may just not even get it. They may not even know what to look out for. So find someone who can, one, get the thing you're writing, reads that kind of thing to start with, and is going to be honest. I won't say brutally honest, that doesn't serve any good, but honest.
Yeah.
Tell you what's working, tell you what's not working, help you improve your work. Like I did that for Light of the Dark Moon. I got feedback through the Google Doc, and it's helpful to keep things organized, because otherwise finding emails and someone responding by email and you miss it, it is helpful to use a doc.